turn on your mics, please, when you're talking. So that helps with all the good stuff.
Okay. Good evening. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance to section 19.83 and 19.84 Wisconsin stats in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Director Standridge addressed this commission regarding Chairperson Deppies is unable to attend this meeting, and a pro tem will be needed to be elected for taking the meeting place on February 18, 2026. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion for a pro tem chairperson. Yeah.
We'll need a recommendation and then a motion.
Okay. I'll make a recommendation to for Meg to be the chairperson.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Meg? Thank you.
Roll call shows all present except for Brian Deppies and Don Ebby, who are absent excused. We will move on to item 4, meeting minutes. Item A, Park and Recreation meeting minutes, November 19th, 2025, and it's the action item.
Move to approve the meeting minutes from November 19th, 2025.
I second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. We'll move on to item 5, unfinished business. Item A is update on 4th of July, and this is discussion.
I just wanted to inform this commission on what's been going on with the 4th of July. Steve Kreklow has headed up this year's celebration, and we've been advertising and calling for volunteer organizations to step up this year and help out. Surprisingly, we have had quite a few different organizations to step up. Sherry Shepard, representing Bank 5-9, is willing to be a sponsor for the event. Joletta, which is the chairperson for the Germantown Chamber of Commerce, she's actually handling the parade this year. Elizabeth from the mobile phone company. If you remember from the parade last year and maybe some of the other events we've had, she's the one that has the truck that does the big foam bubbles. They blow out bubbles. And so we're going to work it out where she'll be able to do that from the stage this year for the kids. We have Marcy that's working on church members to help out. Tom Barney, the president of the Kiwanis, they are willing to donate money to help with the kids program. Kara from the Germantown Library, they're not quite sure yet what they're going to be doing, but they're also willing to donate money. Amy Keller, she's the manager of the Germantown American Legion or Legion, also looking to donate. Christy Bell, the manager of the American Legion, they requested and been granted to sell the food this year. They'll start grilling at noon and start selling right after the parade is over. And they'll do hot dogs, brats, hamburgers, and various food items. Also, they'll be selling draft beer, sodas, water at the indoor shelter. So this is, in a way, this is good. Steve is looking for them to have a 3-year commitment to do this. This kind of phases us out of having to do that in the future. Also, Steve is negotiating. There hasn't been a set percentage yet, but we're looking at possibly getting 20% commission off their sales that will go back into the village. So this is a good thing. Kind of a tentative schedule. And again, this is just tentative. From 11 to noon, there will be the parade. It'll be the same parade route as it's been for the last several years. It'll end up at Fireman's Park. I'm working with my farmers market folks to actually host their farmers market at the Fireman's Park this year. I met with them back in the fall and they all seemed to like the idea of selling, and the 4th's on a Saturday, so that's one of their normal market days anyway. But they seem to warm up to the idea of doing this over at in the Fireman's Park itself. And the time will be a little different from them, trying to get them to sell from 12 to 4. So that we'll have that one kind of big activity going on during those 4 hours. And then from 5 till 6, we will have a backup band to play music. And then from 6 to 9, we'll be hosting Bootjack Road will be performing for us. And then approximately 9:15, the fireworks show will begin. Again, we're trying to fill in some of the gaps in the afternoon with different volunteer organizations, having like a church group set up for a couple hours for kids' games. Like I said, Elizabeth is going to do bubbles from the stage. We're looking at possibly donations to do like bouncy houses, face painters, and those sort of things. So we're still working on that part of it, but for the time being, at least we have volunteers willing to work with us this year, which is a good thing. I'm going to tourism to ask them for $30,185 towards the 4th of July. 24.9 of that would go for fireworks. Bootjack is going to cost $3,000. The opening act will be around $500. We must hire a sound and lighting technician. That'll be $1,200. But Brandon will be there pretty much all day, and he'll be playing music in the background. So we'll have music all day long anyway. And then the Porta Johns, we're looking at approximately $585. So I will be, I've submitted the paperwork to tourism, and so I'll appear before them in March. Again, we're still looking for volunteers. If anybody here or that know of anyone else, and we're still accepting sponsorships and so forth. So if you're willing to step up, we would appreciate it.
Anybody have questions or comments for Gil? I just had one question. The possible 20% commission, would that go to the rec department or the
At
village in
least so,
general?
yes.
Okay, nice.
So
Okay, we'll,
does that mean,
go ahead.
that the Park and Rec doesn't have to organize the parade prior then too?
That is correct.
Good.
That'll be the Chamber of Commerce.
That's great.
Joletta's done it for many years. She quit doing it a couple years ago, but has volunteered to pick it up again.
Good.
Okay. We will move on to unfinished business item B, Fire Station 1 remodeling project and discussion.
Okay, I included in the packet the letter that I wrote to the village board, and I won't go through it all. Once was enough for me. But I have the program that I presented to the village board, and you can read through that on how I presented it to them. Board was receptive, and I felt a lot of sympathy from the board. They understand the position we're in, the needs of the fire station to have renovations done to it. They understand how important it is to us. But some of the discussion from the board involved and I really wasn't aware of this, but they're not sure of the future of what they're going to do with the fire station. So, and with the uncertainty of the budget moving forward and the need to build a new police station and help fire department out with their renovations and what they're going to do, they just feel like that they did not want to invest into a consultant to come in and do a study on the building to see what can be done. Um, Trustee Baum brought up, and it was a valid point. I think over the years, a lot of us have done feasibility studies and so forth, spent $30,000 to $50,000, and then come back and there's never enough money to be able to do what we're trying to do. So in this particular case, they also, they did not want me to tear down the shelter. That was probably number one. They asked, Scott Anderson helped, stepped up, and they asked what the condition or if they felt the fire station could last another 1 to 3 years. And Scott stepped forward and felt confident that with some improvements that we need to make, that it would probably still be good for another year to 3 years. My report was based on, I hired consultants, engineers that came in and did a study on it. But so the $50,000 that was allotted for the 2025 budget that I asked to put back into the fire station, I'll probably use most of that on the shelter to come in and try to get it where it's not a liability, at least for a couple more years. I did spend, with permission of the board, I spent $2,700 to put new metal grates in the flooring where it was drainage. There were several holes in it. It was like 50 years old, the grate, so they needed replacing. Now, staff and I will be meeting with DPW. The board has asked us to work with DPW to come up with a maintenance program for the fire station. So we will be having those meetings with DPW. Now, have I given up on the idea? No. What I would like to do is this year, I was not going to really spend any money on the renovation of the fire station anyway. It was going towards a study to what needed to be done. So, and modifying that, staff meeting with DPW to come up with things, necessities that we really feel we need and need to improve on, then I hope to get costs that goes with those needs, and then go back to the board in the fall and ask for some capital improvement funds to go towards the building for next year. So at this time, this is a course of action that we're going to take. The one good thing about keeping the shelter up is I know with the Kids Club program over the summer, they utilize it a lot. And also when we have special events like the carnival, it's used for that as well. And then a Taste of Germantown and other, the shelter is used too. So that's probably a good thing that we're going to keep it up for now. So that's kind of an update on what's going on with the Fire Station 1 remodeling project.
Anybody have any questions?
I did watch the live stream because you were presenting, so good job on that and dealing with some of the questions and conversation. I may have missed this during that discussion, and I actually what Trustee Baum said actually makes sense, because why spend the money if it's years potentially before you actually can truly address it, because those numbers presented back now meaningless 3-4 years from now.
Right.
And I know there was some discussion too about the fire station, but was there any time frame for putting that on a future agenda to actually discuss like, okay, we've got to make a decision on this. Which way are we going to go? Are we going to improve it, keep it? I think I even heard discussion of selling it or making it available to a purchaser. Any sense of that, or is it kind of, I'll call it tabled for the time being, or not
Talking
necessarily?
about the firehouse?
The fire, yeah.
A lot of what was said was the first I had heard referenced, even of selling or long-term what to do with it. And even like the whatever 2 shelters that were supposed to have been constructed, I didn't know anything about that either. But nothing was said long-term about what to do. And without really any kind of study, you don't even know what the building needs. I just know that with all the building that's going on, and I know the library too has been waiting patiently for their 2nd floor, that the funds aren't there to do it. So if you can use the money that they've already approved, and Trustee Kaminsky put it so you don't have to come back and ask us for permission to do what you want. You can spend it how you want for those items, I think is a good thing. But I don't know of anything long-term that they're thinking of. That was the first I heard, even thinking of selling it, because you do have to have some kind of dedicated spot for the rec department for activities.
Well, I was going to say, Gil brought up a good point with kids club and those type of things where, because I think even, I forget who mentioned the police station as a possible alternative, but you had said, there's no playground, there's no space to let the kids run around a bit and pull
Right.
off some energy and that sort of thing. So, I mean, my recommendation, my suggestion is keep it top of mind. It's similar to the point that Trustee Baum made, where why spend the money for a study now only to wait? It's the same sort of thing. If this is something that is needed by Park and Rec for a purpose, we also can't necessarily have them just kind of table it and table it and table it, because before you know it, it's beyond repair, and then you're kind of stuck in the same spot where you could have maybe made some better improvements or spend a little bit more money to improve it, get it close enough, and still maintain it going forward, and utilize internal resources like DPW for things that can be done a little bit cheaper to do so.
Well, I guess, personally, I took it pretty hard, but, a good takeaway from the meeting the other night, I really think I woke the board up. They really realized, yes, recreation needs a space. And the PowerPoint, I think, also showed them, most of them didn't realize how deteriorated the building had got. So I think most of them realize at some point we do need to do something. And so I think maybe that brought to light how bad of a need we do have. And so maybe down the road, we can bring that up. And like I said, I still hope to move forward, maybe not with the renovations that I had hoped to do, but I'm going to come back this fall, budget process, and ask for capital dollars to do some things that we need to have done in that building. The police station, yes, there's been discussion about us using that. Really, the only thing, and staff would agree with me, the large multi-purpose area that they have, and they have trainings and large. Now, that would be an ideal space to run many of our indoor classes, arts and crafts, dance, things that we do indoors at the fire station now. We could do some of those programs over there, and that would give us a little more space. But yeah, so like I said, I took away that at least we made the board aware of the issues that we're facing over there.
Yeah, I'm the chairperson of Buildings and Grounds for the school district, and I think actually Trustee Borst mentioned Buildings and Grounds. Little inside joke, at least amongst the committee, is pictures are worth 1,000 words, because we don't necessarily understand what the inside of a boiler looks like, but when you see deterioration or damage or whatever, it kind of reinforces some of that. So any opportunity you guys have where you see a need for improvement, show the trustees, show whatever committee you're presenting in front of pictures. And to your point, it gives a little extra oomph. It's one thing to say, well, we need to fix this post because the wood is deteriorating. When you see how bad it is, it kind of helps
Right.
give that impact.
Gives
So,
that visual, yes.
I have not looked at the 5-year capital improvement plan that Matt Mortwood came up with, but if you could maybe talk to him like in the next week and see if he can get like rec department slotted in that with all the other stuff for the village so that it's
Okay,
forefront with the trustees and it's in there as a, this is what we want to work towards. And it's already on there. Because I
Sure.
think the library, the upstairs is on there. I mean, he could maybe get it slotted in somewhere
okay.
and that would just help put it on the radar.
I will, yes.
Did anyone else have a question or comments?
Is there is the police department gonna be relocated?
Yes, it went through approved to go to the old DPW site.
The old DPW site, okay, it's by the baseball diamond, Little
Yes.
League baseball diamond.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing else on that, we'll move on to unfinished business item C, update on capital improvement projects, and this is discussion also.
Couple of the projects that I had requested capital improvement funds. One was to kind of finish the Kinderberg and Hopstrauss baseball field projects with the at Kinderberg looking to install that backstop netting above the backstop. If you're familiar with Friedenfeld or Hopstrauss, then you see that netting. We're going to do the similar thing at Kinderberg. Also, at Hopstrauss, the outfield fence in some places is 2 feet above ground. It's over the years where the posts where they're cemented are now exposed. And so I was able to get the money budgeted to have those replaced, all 23 posts. And all the concrete will redone and it'll be buried 36 inches under the ground. Anyway, I sent out RFPs and I had 3 companies that bid on it. And Munson Fencing Division was the lowest bid on that. So I went to GGF the other night and they approved to allow them to have the contract. Also, good thing, I'd actually had about 30,000 budgeted for those 2 projects, and he came in at a little over 28. So we'll be able to save a little bit of money on that. I'm still working on as you know, I was budgeted $22,495 for the new sound equipment, new TVs, and so forth at the senior center. I've reached out to 2 companies and have not gotten back a third bid. The only problem is both companies are above my 22,000. So I'm going to work on the third bid and then go back to one of the companies because basically when they gave me the price quote, that's what I used to budget it. And then after the budget was approved, they came back with their revision. And I pretty much told them I can't accept their revision. So hopefully they'll work with me. So we'll see. So I'm still working on that project as well. And then the final thing is Munson court. Munson has really expanded, but they're the same people that have worked on our tennis courts and rec and pickleball courts in the past. Well, they're going to come in the spring and fix all the cracks and redo all that for us as well. So that's the third project that we'll have underway for this spring.
Any questions or comments for Gil? All right, we will move on to new business, item A, the summer 2026 program fees and charges, and this is for discussion and action.
Hi, everyone. So we've been busy putting together our schedule for the summer, and we have our fees and charges put forward. Not a lot of huge changes, but small increases across the board. We feel that need to be made so that we can keep up with the times and with the ever increasing costs for supplies or instruction. So as always, we usually start on the first page and we kind of go through. All of these are minor, $2 increases, things like that. I don't expect the programs to have that many changes as we go along. Obviously, we're not doing the breathwork class. So we have just minor increases in those programs. Probably the same. Any questions on page 1? It's probably going to be pretty quick. Page 2, again, something similar. A couple dollar increases across the board. Golf is a little bit more, but we already approved that for this winter, spring. And that was an instruction fee increase. We do a contract basis with that instructor, so that was a little bit different. And gymnastics, as always, I seem to have a really good crew that's coming back, so I like to, bump up their pay a little bit, so that helps with that. You can see we're no longer doing the inline skating class. Pettit is reevaluating their outreach program, so they were not able to do that this summer with us. And then Oodles of Art, we went down from 4-week program to a 3-week program to accommodate our schedules at Fire Station. So that one, we just kind of adjusted the fee for that program. Next page, I don't know if you want to talk about.
Summer Kids Club, it's the daily fee is gonna go up $1, but so is the field trip fee. So that one also is gonna increase from $13 to $14. Tyke Site, also $1 increase, plus the field trip fee increased by $1. And then 7th grade Adventure Kids Club also went up $1.
Other things to note, we just increased Safety Town a little bit, trying to inch up towards that 130% instead of 125, trying to take that into account. Fortunately, our stay home alone instructor, very popular class, is very ill, and we had to cancel fall, and then winter, spring, and now summer too. So I don't know if that'll come back. That was kind of a specialty thing she did on her own, created her own program. So the tech classes are a little bit different. We're able to use Survive Alive for this summer yet. We thought it was going to be torn down come May, June, but they said we could still hold classes in the summer, so that was great. In the meantime, we were kind of talking with the police department to see, like Gil said, to use some of their rooms, which would be perfect, and they said yes, we could do that. So in the future, that's something we're going to be looking at doing because we just can't hold everything at Fire Station 1 at this point, or the senior center are kind of the only 2 places we have. So anyways, back to tech classes. We used to do 1-week camps, and now we're just going to do like I think it's every Thursday. We're doing like 1 class every Thursday, and there's all kinds of different things. I think I listed some of the new ones when we get to the new classes, kind of a little bit different schedule for that. And then just going up some amounts for tennis. Youth Competitive League went up $5, although they're just getting a really great deal if they sign up for that too. But it's a nice program for them. And then the last page, again, tree climbing, we've been charging that this spring, so we want to be consistent. All the camps kind of went up because usually the t-shirts go up a little bit for that. So we're kind of anticipating that for those camps. New programs in cooperation with Kettle Moraine Ice Skating Center. They wanted to spelled adult wrong, I see. Adult skating there. So we'll see if that flies. They must get some interest in that. And then these are those tech camps I was talking about, Magnetic Magic, Dynamite Dinosaur Day. So we have the little kids for that. And then Catapult Challenge. So those are something new, different. The other ones are kind of spin-off. She made into one classes of things that we've already had before. So I didn't list all those. Kickbox Fitness, we've been doing with Surge, so they wanted to do a class, and then they will also be joining our Fit and Park series, where we have free classes for the community, fitness classes in our parks, and then hopefully they'll join, our classes down the line, where they're a whole session. So we also have the yoga movement and mindfulness is new with that. Not listed on here this week. I was able to get in touch with Anytime Fitness. They're going to do a functional strength camp at Kinderberg Park. And then last to note, I just got confirmations and I didn't have it in time for this, was we're working with Menominee Falls and Pickleball Kingdom to offer pickleball camps for youth at their facility. So we did that this spring. It was kind of a add-on towards the end of, right before we got the book went out. It's like, oh, yep, we have room and we'll figure it out. So, and there might be a couple of other different new things. It's just, we just don't have enough time between when this has to get approved and before we go to print to get it all. It's all a big puzzle that we have to work together to put together. So with that in mind, if there's not any other questions, we just, I think, need a motion to entertain approve the summer fees.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026 summer fee schedule.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. And we move on to new business, item B, update on music at pavilion donations.
All right, so music at the pavilion, so far, we've raised $28,400. Last year, we raised $36,000. So we came to realize that Scott Anderson from DPW is instrumental in helping us raise funds, and the emails that he sent out to 17 different vendors, we've only heard back from 2 of them, which is really strange. We'll come to find out, for whatever reason, they weren't getting the emails, and I was copied on them, so I got them, but the outside vendors weren't. So I talked to IT on Monday, and they just recommended, instead of putting a PDF in it, that I respond with a link to the PDF. And so I know today I sent out 15 of them and we've already gotten a response. So I'm confident that we'll be able to hit our goal, which this year I'd like to do at least what we did last year, if not more. So hopefully we can hit 40,000, and that should cover the cost of all the bands, the sound and lighting. So we should have a good summer.
Any questions?
Talk about who?
I guess I can talk about the bands. So we have contracts signed with all the bands but one. The first night we're having 2 bands that split off from Bella Cane. So one of them is the Judson Brown Band, and I do have a contract signed with them. And then the other one is the Hot and Dirty Brass Band, and that's the one band I don't have a contract for yet. But for the first time, they're gonna do like a split show. So we're gonna get them each for an hour and a half, and then they're gonna do a little bit together in the middle of the show. The second concert, for the first time ever, we're able to get the Glam Band. They never were willing to perform on a Thursday, but for whatever reason this year, they gave us the go-ahead. July 2nd, I'm very excited about this one. I saw this band in Cedarburg a few years ago. They're called the Boy Band Review. They're from Chicago and it's literally all boy band music. So starting with New Kids on the Block, yes, I know, and then going all the way to like One Direction. I'm really, really looking forward to that one. July 16th, we're having the 5-card studs, excuse me. August 6th, we're bringing back the Britons because the residents loved the Britons so much. We had a good time with them. And then we're ending the season with Cherry Pie on the 20th. So, yeah. Welcome.
All right, we will move on to new business item C, My Fest, and this is for discussion.
Yeah, just wanted to update you. MyFest wants to keep their 3-day party in our park, in Fireman's Park again this year. The actual event will be May 14th through the 16th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, the 14th through the 16th. However, we rent to them. They will come in on Monday to May 11th, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday, they'll set up. Then the 3 days they'll have the event, and then Monday, we give them Monday to come in and clean up. So it'll be pretty much the same kind of setup as last year. If any of y'all attended the large tent that they had in the grass area in front of the indoor shelter, they're going to set up again there, and they'll have a stage in there for a band. And I think they are bringing back Bella Kane this year as their highlight band. Do you know the other band?
The toys, same as last year.
So they have a pretty good lineup as well. I hope you'll get out and support them. They're very generous to us, and not only our organization, but several organizations benefit from the money they make. They really don't profit off this. They just use it to pay bills and then give it away. So try to put that on your calendar.
Any questions?
Did I hear you mentioned Bella Kane? There's some people that created a new band?
Yeah, 2 different members of the band left in, I think, the last year or 2 and started their own bands. So we're giving them a shot because Bella Kane is increasingly more and more expensive every year. It's a lot. It's a lot to have. So we thought, let's try this, let's try something different and not have the same bands every year. So we'll see.
You can't get like 5,
Oh, no.
10?
It's probably close to that this year. It might be a little under. What they charge My Fest is, I'm guessing what they would charge us, and it's probably close to 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And they are a little harder to negotiate with too, as well.
Yeah, the gentleman that runs them is a full-time firefighter, so they're really hard to get a hold of. I mean, it does take a minute. So, yeah.
Okay, we will move on to new business item D, Senior Center Coordinator position, and this is discussion also.
I'm sure all of you are aware that we lost Mary here a couple weeks ago. She'd been suffering for a long time, and so I like to think, I'm sorry, she's in a better place now, but we will miss her. She was very popular. But we've had a great person to fill in these last 5 months. Susan, most of y'all know Susan, and she's filled in admirably, but she does not want the job full time. She's retired from a full-time position. She worked many years, and she just wanted to. She started out working at the senior center to have something to do, you know, a little extra spending money. She was 15 to 17 hours a week, so she went from that to full time, and so we're doing our best to advertise the position and try to get her back to part time. We've posted on several job sites. They're very popular Indeed. We've posted through Wisconsin Park and Recreation Association. We have a posting on the Wisconsin Association of Senior Centers. Our village website as well has posted a job. And right now, we're tentatively looking at a March 9th deadline. We were able to, I think one of our issues is if you do a benchmark study of all the communities around us, we're a good $10,000 to $15,000, if not more, below what most of them pay their senior center coordinators. But we were able to up ours, I think $4,000 from what we were advertising. So we're kind of re-advertising, but we got that approved today. So hopefully maybe that'll attract some candidates. But if you know of someone that might be good in this position, um, um, the senior center is very well respected place. It's an opportunity for someone to do a lot of programming, a lot of trips. That's where their main revenue comes. They do about 15 trips a year. They even take people to Ireland and places. And this coordinator arranges these types of trips. So it's an exciting position, and so we're hoping to get someone in there soon. Susan says if not sooner. So again, just trying to keep you guys posted on where we are with that.
Your mic is on.
You're good. Nope. Do it again. There you go.
You're good.
I see the note here. It says she was very active with the West Bend Special Olympics. What,
Yes, she was for over 30 years. I think she did everything from coach Special Olympics.
nice.
He was on their commission committee, very, very high up,
that's
very well
wonderful.
respected. As a matter of fact, most of the folks that attended her funeral were Special Olympic
Nice.
supporters.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I talked to her many times, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was something, I mean, she was proud of it, but no, she didn't really talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking with her a lot.
Any other questions for Gil? Mm. Okay, then we move on to village board report. So, a lot happening at the village. As you know, our village administrator has given his notice. His last day will be March 13th. Or, yes, he's going to Fox Point. And the DPW director, Matt Mortwitt, is done, I believe, next Wednesday. He's going to Brookfield. So we are currently coming up with a plan for hiring replacements, and we're working with a company to go out for village administrator. And I believe we're going to start internally for DPW to see if there's any interest internally. With the two positions up at the same time, we have to be a little bit more careful about keeping the continuity and, keeping things going. The land swap with Blackstone Creek came before the village board last Monday. As a discussion item, they had done the village paid for an appraisal, and they came in at like the large portion of the wetland marsh floodplain area, 114 acres, I believe. They valued it like $1.2 million. And the two small parcels, which was the front of Hopstrass Park and then the recycling center, those came in at like 4 something and 290. So there's a difference of $600,000 cost to the village if we entertained it, just from the numbers without any negotiations or anything. And the discussion was not to move forward with a swap at this time. We had a difficult budget last time. We were putting maintenance items into borrowing and capital borrowing. That shouldn't happen. So you have to think about what the cost of the upkeep of a park would be and what we would even do with that. So at this time, nothing's happening as far as a land swap with Blackstone. I did have a resident that reached out and asked if, I guess we've ever looked at getting sponsorships for park stuff. Or get naming rights or things like that. So I don't know if that could come into play with the firehouse, if that's a long-term we stay where we might be able to get sponsorships and even funding the park, but at this point, it's just the village can't afford to take on another project like that without knowing. So the discussion was not to go forward with that at this time. Yes.
So the value of the non-buildable land was 1.1 million,
1.2.
1.2 million. And then the value of the buildable land was what?
Let me get,
Or the dollar amount you said there? Like 400,000
well, there were two
or
parcels.
600,000.
So one of them, I think this is the 2.61 acre site, was 290,000. And then the other I don't know if that's a recycling center or not. There was another piece of paper that did not make it in here that they showed us at it, but I don't have it in here to look at. And the other one was 480,000. And then there'd have to be for tearing down the existing equipment and moving it to the other spot in the park for the land. That would be part of the swap. So Administrator Krecklo's figuring looked at about 600,000 plus up from the village. And that's just the land. That's not any kind of maintenance, upkeep.
And then you lose the taxes
Right.
that people pay for that land, right?
Because the recommendation from this Valbridge property on the large portion is really, there's only like one good spot where you could have one, maybe two houses for residential. He said otherwise you can't do it, but he still valued it at 1.2 million. Probably just because the number of acres, most likely, but so there wouldn't be much even for having, I mean, there'd be limited spots where they could even put anything. If you did any kind of tennis courts or, bathrooms or something, there'd be limited in dealing with the DNR. So, but we don't have all that information. We haven't gotten that far. So,
Thank you.
any other questions? And we'll move on to the school board report.
Don't really have too much to report to this particular group. I mean, obviously, we have school going on. We continue to work through, if you recall, last year we did a big facility study, both with our existing structures, our fields, like the whole kit and caboodle. So we're still working through some of that, prioritizing items that we can do in-house versus outside, obviously the expenses and everything else. So it's still very much a work in progress, and we made our adjustments to our 5-year capital plan as well as longer term planning as well, and trying to come up with a process where we are moving funds over when we can to save, to minimize any sort of potential additional costs that we may have to pass along. So we're a lot of moving parts, but ultimately trying to do our best to do our taxpayers right. So
Thank you. We'll move on to item 9, director's report.
Back in the early part of February 3rd through the 6th, Patty, Sandy, and myself, we attended the Wisconsin Park and Recreation Association conference. It was held at the Kalahari Resort and Convention Center in the Dells. This appeared to be or was a record-breaking year for the attendees that came to us. Each of us attended different sessions, trying to pick up new ideas. And it was also a great opportunity to communicate with our peers. It's amazing. You think, well, we're the only one with this problem. And then you talk to 3 other directors and you realize, no, you're not alone. We all share the same issues. Just go about it in different ways. I thought, I can't speak for staff, but I thought the exhibition hall was actually one of the best part of the conference. It was they opened it up for most of the day and went in there and I'd already had my contractors picked out for the renovation and all that, but it's you have all different kinds of vendors that come in there from recreation equipment, court surfaces, to building new community centers, to golf courses, you name it, anything recreation, playground equipment, and so forth. So it's kind of cool to see all the newest equipment that's out there that you can only dream about. But yeah, we enjoyed it. The socials were pretty good and entertaining. Um, I'm getting to the point that I'll let the young ones have all the fun with the entertainment. Dance, by the way, to embarrass Patty, she's quite the dancer, if I may throw that out there. Yeah, we had a band one night and we managed, or she managed, without much motivation to get out there and she did good. Was proud of her. But no, it's a good conference. Always good to see other Wisconsin Parks and Rec professionals as well. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'll be attending our region. We have a new president for our region and I'll be attending a conference there and it should be a good conference with new ideas and a chance to, again, to meet with all the other folks that do what we do in our region in this area. Mary already talked about a little bit. Lease agreements. This was the year I had to redo up all the lease agreements for the Warhawks baseball, football, and the soccer club. As you know, they use our park fields for their leagues and programs. Each lease is for 2 years. And generally, the village, we don't make any money off the leases. All that money goes towards paying a landscaping company, which in this case is Total Lawn Care. And they come in and do the landscaping, weed control, they aerate the fields, and all the athletics seem to be really pleased with the job that they do. So we have new lease agreements in place. Farmers market, send out applications, believe it or not. May is around the corner. Our program goes from May 1 till the end of October. So I'm hearing that hopefully most of our vendors will return this year. And again, I'm hoping that they're willing to make an appearance at Fireman's Park on the 4th of July. I think if they do it right after the parade, you got a couple thousand people right there. So hopefully that'll draw attention and they'll be able to do well. Community garden, again, we send out applications. We normally, the way our system works, if you already have a garden plot, then you're allowed to keep it if you renew your lease agreement with us. So we sent that out asking all the participants from 25 if they wanted to renew their lease for 26. But we do give them a deadline of March 1st. If they haven't responded by March 1st, then we open those plots up to new gardeners every year. We'll probably keep about, I would say, 70% of the gardeners will come back year after year. About 30% of them are new gardeners. They get in there and realize, ooh, this is work. And I didn't get all the tomatoes I thought I was going to get. And so they back out. But we haven't had any issues replacing them with new gardeners. So again, we're working on filling those plots. So that's mostly what's been going on. Recreation report.
Do that one.
Yes, please.
Well, as you can see, in a month, we're running up to over 40 programs going on. So you can read those there. We have our second Blades Golf fundraiser tomorrow night. So if you haven't done so, if you want to try your hand at simulator golf, like the hour is $50 or however long you want to do it. And we get half that donated back to us. So it's a really nice fundraiser. So promote that.
Um, just in case you don't know, when they say $50, it's not per golfer, that's per station. So
Mhm.
if you have 3 golfers, then, you know, you're paying 15, 20 bucks to golf the 18 holes.
And that's just up from the new Quick Trip in the industrial market there.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. Something I've been working on, I am the board president of the Germantown Youth Futures Group, and we are putting on a teen wellness retreat on Saturday, February 28th. So it's for grades 6 to 12. It's a totally free event. We were able to secure grant money from the Alliance for Wisconsin Youth. So we have sessions on art, on yoga, fidget making, and some, you know, nice speakers on different topics that would be good for teens. So we also were able to, I wrote some donation letters and got some really nice raffle prizes from different places that we haven't typically see, like Chick-fil-A and what else? Starbucks gave up these nice tumblers and things like that. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we got. So now we just need kids. So if you know of anyone, we're still taking registrations for that. I know it's been all over, I think, the schools, social media, our social media, and I think they're sending out another Skyward message. Along with that, during that same time, I forgot to write this down, but there's also a parent chat. So we do these usually twice a year. So it's just 45 minutes on that Saturday. I should have brought a flyer, but it's a nice topic to go along with your teens and, you know. So again, that one's free too. It's that same day. So anyone can sign up for that. Our recital is on March 12th. The theme is Night at the Movies, and that's at the Performing Arts Center at the high school on the stage. So it's been there the last couple of years. It's really cool to have it on that stage there. Our POMS performance is March 3rd at the high school gym. And we have tons of kids in that program. So we have a lot of different performances happening. Our egg hunt is Saturday, March 28th at Fireman's Park, starting at 11. If you can volunteer, let me know. We're still looking for volunteers for that event. And we have probably 8 different groups right now stuffing eggs for us. So if you're part of those groups, thank you for doing that. So, and we've probably up to, I think, almost $2,000 in donations for that, which is good because the candy really has skyrocketed in price. So, and then our summer brochure should be posted online the week of March 16th. And then we'll have hard copies at the office. And then we also just distribute them to the elementary schools. And then registration is going to start a little bit later because of how Easter falls. So we'll start April 13th for residents and school district residents and the 15th for non-residents. That's about it.
Okay, and then item 10 is announcement of public interest. Or does anybody have any? No, then the next meeting for the rec department is Wednesday, March 18th at 5:30 in the Village Hall Boardroom. And do we do a motion to adjourn at this meeting?
I think so.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second it. Second it.
All those in favor?
I
Opposed? None, motion carries.
Go Hogs.
Did you say go hogs?
Yeah. Oh.
So when is